Waiting for the snow, a self-introduction. Once upon a time in the Great White North, there lived an amplified amphibian, named Phobos. Now Phobos had latent ambition, which surfaced one day as he grew tired of watching skaters through scratched up ice. He decided that he would head south, where the frogs are red, and the rain is warm. His desire was to leave his batrachian buddies, lamenting on the side of an imponderable edifice. This amphibian, his exact species is not pertinent to this fable, was a yodeling raconteur. His pipe dream was to hear his yodel echo off great mountains, through the valleys, and go skipping across the fjords. But alas, his dream was thwarted by what he perceived to be a glacier over his pond. It was in effect a glass ceiling. While his batrachian buddies were slumbering in the frozen ooze, Phobos incessantly butted his forehead against the ice, valiantly attempting a dramatic exit. Finally an errant cow stumbled onto the edge of ice and left a window of opportunity. Phobos seized the moment. Having no opposable thumb, with which to hitchhike, Phobos hopped on a freight train, bound for Florida. Phobos happened upon a frog named Dominique. Dominique said, "There's only one word to describe me, that is liberty," with one part of the L pointing to the horizon, and the other pointing to the zenith. Dominique raved about a tropical ski lodge where inimitable St. Bernards were trained at the tropical ski lodge for their work on the mountains. These canines were hand-picked to assist fallen skiers in their 60 minutes of necessity. Phobos and Dominique studied diligently with the dogs. They were told that someday there would be an avalanche of fallen skiers awaiting their rescue. Day after day they practiced drills, looked through charts of mountains, and memorized the many names of snow. Finally Phobos and Dominique were stationed in the Alps. Sporadically a skier would happen to fall, but it seemed they were catapulted majestically over the mountain, to give the dogs something to do. Waiting for the avalanche was worse than waiting for the ice above the pond to melt. After years of waiting for the snow of snows, most of the St. Bernards had bitten the biscuit. Only a few old ones remained faithful to the task at law. Suddenly, a host of skiers rained down from the sky, and the amplified amphibian was in his element, assisting with the repair and maintenance of various broken appendages. There is no moral to this story. It is not a good story. However, one should consider the ramifications of driven snow. Isn't the snow sometimes old and flaky, just before the avalanche? Questions for study. Why was the amphibian referred to as being amplified? A. He stuck his finger in a socket when he was young. B. This is a story about electrical storms. C. Poetic licentiousness. D. The protagonist wanted to be a rock star. 2. Why did the dogs bite the biscuit? A. They didn't know any stupid dog tricks. B. They were hungry. C. They were acting as doggies are wont to do. D. They were sick and tired of waiting for an avalanche. 3. Why isn't the amphibian's exact species divulged? A. Divulgence is impertinent to the plot. B. There is no plot, so therefore specifics are sick. C. Amphibian was from the Great White North. 4. What was the country to the south? A. United States. B. Nicaragua. C. South Korea. D. It wasn't a country, it was a state of mind. Why did the amphibian study the many names of snow? A. To communicate with dissidents, to add excitement to the story. Why did the amphibian cry on the side of a mountain? A. If they cried on top of the mountain they would lose control over their tears. B. They were afraid that Phobos might become a freeze-dried dog biscuit. C. They were doing stupid amphibian tricks. D. The protagonist owed them money, and left town in a hurry. 7. How is it possible that the amphibian could look through charts of mountains? A. The charts were drawn on cheap paper. B. He was talented at reading maps. C. He was looking for the plot and could see through the mountain. D. He had X-ray vision. You have been listening to Phobos, the imaginary friend of Stephen du Laurier, the invisible lip singer, and author of The Yodeling Frog and Other Atrocities.